Monday morning, the Los Angeles Lakers received news, I'm sure before we did, but the world received the news by way of Sharpe, ESPN NBA insider, that LeBron James was opting into his contract. And a statement was put out by Rich Paul, his agent and super agent in the NBA, to the Lakers, or to Shams, basically saying, we understand, speaking of now and later, we understand that your focus is on later with Luka, and we are okay with that, but LeBron wants to win now, right? And that threw us all for a loop. Like, what? LeBron opting in? He never does this. My assessment quickly, the more I've thought about it, it's very simple. I believe the reason he opted into the contract and didn't decline the option and sign a 1+1, meaning a player option for year 2, is because my guess is the Lakers would not have given him a no-trade clause if he did that. Currently has a no-trade clause. My guess is if he declines the option, he then has to sign a new contract, and my guess is the Lakers said, well, no, we're not going to give you a no-trade clause. And then he thought to himself, well, they traded AD in the middle of the night without me knowing.
Yeah.
They could do the same to me. I'm not signing up for that.
He wanted to retain that power.
That's my guess. But now here's what happens. We don't know what's next. Shams Charania, ESPN senior NBA insider, was on the midnight SportsCenter Eastern time and had this to say about LeBron's future.
Right now, LeBron James understands the Lakers are prioritizing the future in a lot of ways that really centers around Luka Doncic. And he knows they're going to go younger at different points. They are really prioritizing 2-year contracts right now. They want to have max salary space in 2027. But for his part, at this point in his career, at his age, at 40 years old, going on 41, he wants to compete for a championship, wherever that may be, in Los Angeles, or there are conversations to be had at another point. The Lakers, their president, Rob Pelinka, they're being active. They're trying to figure out how to get a center right now in free agency, trying to get some wing depth. LeBron James is very closely evaluating essentially how this goes with the Lakers and where he would want his career to be as he winds down, whether he has 1 year left, 2 years left, or 3 years left. What we're seeing right now is essentially a moment of truth between LeBron James and the Lakers.
Smalls,
Juicy.
really juicy, impactful words from Shams. Let's go through a couple of facts on this. Looking for a center.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 people told me leading into free agency expect Brook Lopez to sign with the Lakers. Well, he signed in LA last night with the Clippers.
Right.
We all speculated Clint Capella, former Rocket/Hawk, could end up with the Lakers. Well, no, he goes back to the Rockets for a second stint there. Miles Turner is a great player. Indiana goes to the finals. He's unsigned at this point. I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to pull that off. DeAndre Ayton, everybody thinks when he gets bought out, maybe he goes to Lakers, and maybe that's why. That hasn't happened yet. They don't have the center that they're talking about. The wing, they just lost Dorian Finney-Smith to the Rockets. I'm starting to read the tea leaves a little bit. Brian Windhorst has said he's not sure what's going to happen. Tim Bontemps has said he does not believe LeBron is going to get traded. Udonis Haslem, 3-time champion, former LeBron teammate, said he's not leaving LA. But here are the tea leaves I'm wondering about and I'm starting to read into. Let's discuss the teams that theoretically, if LeBron James were to say, I want to be traded, here's my list. Who's on that list?
Cleveland.
Okay.
The Knicks.
I think there's 3 more teams personally.
Go ahead, let's hear them. Oh, the Warriors.
Okay, that's 1.
What are the other 2 in your mind?
Miami and Dallas.
Go
Okay.
on.
So Cleveland, New York, Miami, Dallas, and Golden State. That would be my guesstimation as to the list. None of them have done anything. Cleveland made a trade for Lonzo Ball. They traded Isaac Okoro. Doesn't affect anything relative to an attempt to trade LeBron James, which would be a multi-team deal and would basically strip their core down. I don't think Cleveland's actually an option, but it would be on the list. Knicks haven't done a thing. They're going to sign Jordan Clarkson. Doesn't mean anything for this. They have not done a thing. Golden State. What happened to Jonathan Kuminga? Restricted free agents. What happened to them? They were maybe interested in Al Horford, and maybe that's still going to be the case. Why did they let Kevon Looney walk, who's been their, heart and soul guy, 2 years, $16 million with the Pelicans? Miami was not good at all last year. Got smoked in the first round against the Cavs. Why have they not done anything? Dallas. They bring in D'Angelo Russell on a 2-year deal to be a fill-in point guard. They haven't done anything. No move that has been made by New York, Golden State, Miami, or Dallas would impact the hypothetical of LeBron James getting traded. I am telling you right now, as we sit here today, it feels like LeBron James is going to get traded. I have never felt this way in my entire basketball fan life or media career, that he was going to get traded. All signs are pointing towards this possibly happening. And I know every NBA insider is going to say, you're ridiculous, this is not going to happen. And I'm sure they're probably right and I'm probably wrong. But if I didn't know the history of LeBron James and you didn't know the history of LeBron James, and we're just looking at what we know since Sunday and what the teams are that we are guesstimating he could want to go to, it feels like he's going to get traded.
Especially when Shams is heavy on the wherever that may be when talking about LeBron's quest to win a championship, another championship before his career is over. Because if it was all trying to be in LA and him exercise power to force the front office to make moves that would satiate him, we would be talking about that, about LeBron trying to enact that power to get what he wants, which is what we've seen so many times before. But Evan, I just don't know, because I try to reconcile the two things that LeBron really wants: to win another championship before his career is over, and also the personal life, which he has in LA. He's got his family there. He's obviously playing with his son. His business is there. It's an all-time great franchise where basketball matters, and he's won a championship there. But winning another championship, a non-bubble championship with the Lakers, winning certain places carries a little bit more weight. Like when he went back to Cleveland, that championship carries more weight than what he did in Miami for so many reasons. And I know that in Miami, those were the best years of his career.
Yeah.
But when we talk about LeBron's career in totality, that championship versus the Warriors back in Cleveland is the one that's going to be at the top of the marquee.
But let me ask you a question. If the Lakers would have won a championship this year, hypothetically, and he stays there.
We'll talk about it as Luka's team?
Yes. So maybe in his mind, it's like, I played for the Lakers. I was great at times with the Lakers. On the whole, relative to Lakers' expectations, LeBron James did not live up to the Lakers' expectations. They were out in the first round or sooner 5 of the 7 years he was there. I don't discount the bubble championship. Fans may, because they didn't see it in person, and it felt there was no run. The Thunder run, the fans standing up, even the Pacers run losing, the fans were a part of it. So it may not even be. It's stupid to say it this way, but it may not be considered his title. Smalls, I don't know what indication he has given that he's going to be back there with them. And in years past, with every team he's ever been on, it's always, oh, well, he's just doing this to get everything he wants. The Lakers are not going to give him what he wants anymore, and nor should they.
Right, but in talking about it being Luka's team and wondering if he'll get the credit for that, couldn't we say that about a lot of the teams on your list? Like if he goes to the Warriors, we'll give him the Kevin Durant treatment.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
Same thing with Cleveland. It's a team that was in contention last year. If he goes back there, we'll say, oh, he had to leave his current situation to join a team, especially with the landscape of the East right now. He has to join a team that has an easier path that was already a contender last year.
I get the fact that this is way less likely than it is more likely that he gets traded. But as we sit here today, I can't sit here and lie to the audience.